Another great edition of the EK Show. You see who in the building with me, man. Talk about Cash Records Only. Boss Blind. What's up, partner? How you been doing, man?
Oh, man, I've been doing blessed. I've been blessed by the best. You know how I go, you know what I'm saying?
No question.
Just elevating myself, man, trying to level up out here.
Well, you've been doing your thing. I've been seeing a lot of things going on. I'm to understand you're part of the new big DMV United that's going to be down in Lamont. You got the Oh Yeah video. You got so much going on. But for the people, and you're no stranger to the EK Show, formerly the 16-time award-winning Eddie Kane Show.
Yeah.
But you're no stranger. And tell the people who you are as an artist.
Well, who I am as an artist is I'm a native from D.C., grew up in Northwest D.C.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Came up as a youngster, you know, beating on paint cans and buckets, you know what I'm saying? Playing go-go music, you know what I'm saying? That's how music all started for me. Just wanting to, you know, mimic bands like EU, Red Essence, Trouble Funk. Some people don't remember Air Raid.
That was my group.
You know
I remember when Mickey played with Air Raid. Y'all don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, you know, so we came up on, you know, on go-go as it originated. Shout out and rest in peace, Chuck Brown. You know what I'm saying? We just, you know, learn how to be musicians as kids. And then, you know, when hip-hop came into play, you know, we just kind of, you know, adjusted and transferred the sound over to hip-hop.
Well, the crazy thing is, in this area, which is in the DMV area, it wasn't widely accepted always. Like, hip-hop was first shunned. But a lot of people don't know go-go music played a great influence on early hip-hop.
It did.
A lot of people don't know that when you were probably rocking, you had Trouble Funk that was doing a lot of things with Curtis Blow. And, and Salt and Pepper Herbie Love Book took a lot of from, as well as Dana Dane and Dougie Fresh, and the list goes on. So, like, go-go has been very influential in hip-hop. Why do you think that hip-hop hasn't been widely accepted in the DMV?
I think it hasn't been accepted because go-go, you know, right now, like the council member is trying to get, I think
Shout
he
out
already—
Kevin McDuffie.
Yeah, Kevin McDuffie, he already passed the law to make go-go the official music for D.C., but I think that in D.C., we didn't embrace hip-hop as much because we were so loyal to the go-go music and the go-go scene. However, any go-go that you go to, you always hear the go-go bands hitting the latest rap songs.
Definitely.
So I would say that D.C. did embrace rap music, hip-hop, but they just did it through go-go.
What do you think about the current state of hip-hop within the DMV? Me, I'm excited because I remember when I first started doing this thing, it wasn't widely accepted. You didn't have a lot of platforms other than myself and a couple, and mainstream radio didn't embrace it.
Right.
Shooting past that, shout out brothers like Tony Rez that took the baton from myself and others and elevated it and took it to another level to give independent artists like yourself. Like, I would hear you on radio a lot, and a couple of other BJ Banks and a couple of other artists that, you know, I've come across in my career and worked with. So what do you think the current state, because it's like really a lot of DMV artists on the low. Like, I was just riding in this morning and I hear what is it, the young boy Corday.
YB Corday.
Yeah, he's on the new Herb record. So, like, and people don't even know that he's a DMV artist.
Right.
So we got like 24 artists in the game. What do you think the current state is for DMV hip-hop?
I think the state is we opening the door. It's a lot of artists that's starting to actually make money off of hip-hop, such as Shy Glizzy.
No question.
Gold Link.
Definitely.
YB.
Corday.
And Q the Fool, you know, is coming out as well. There's some other artists.
3-0 Black.
3-0 Black, yeah, Light Show.
Light Show. We got the boy Chaz French, Nucci.
Exactly.
So we can keep going on and on and on. What is it going to take for us to become the next mecca of hip-hop?
To be honest, I feel that's what we doing right now. That's why we have DMV United. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't even know. Before my man Boss Blind came up and started rocking the DMV United, I was doing the original DMV United probably like in 2003, but my man took the baton and rocking it. Talk about the DMV United.
And in between that, there's a lot of people who use that brand.
That's a very,
I mean, the DMV.
But it's good, though.
It's good.
It's good. I'm not mad at you. I'm saluting you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And we want to keep it united. You know what I'm saying? We want to unite the DMV to get we feel like, to be honest, 95.5 Tony Reds, his embrace and his platform united so many artists and gave us motivation.
Okay.
Because we were able to hear ourselves on the radio. It was a huge motivation. And when that got taken away, you know, I mean, we feel in the aftermath of that right now. But I feel like we got to continue the motivation by doing these promotions and shows in DMV United Culture Fest. That's why we doing this on August the 17th.
Shout out my man George.
Yeah,
he was
coming
talking
up.
to me about.
Yeah, exactly. George, DMG, and my man Wise, we all united and put together this show just to show
my man Wise. Yeah, okay, salute Wise.
Yeah, to show the DMV, you know, that we can continue to unite on our own,
right,
and build and level up, and hopefully take this thing to the level of a Broccoli Fest,
right?
What we did doing the DMV United down Virginia Beach.
Okay,
we can take DMV United to Myrtle Beach or any state in the whole country. We can be like, hey, we DMV and we united. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. You as an artist individually have been really making a lot of noise. You got a single called Oh Yeah. And you'll be performing that later on, so don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
But talk about, where did that come from? Where did that song originate from?
Well, I mean, I was in the process of making a EP.
Okay.
And I was in the studio for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I was just doing songs back to back. I did probably like 20 songs.
Okay.
And honestly, I probably only like one of them songs that I did. So I was working so hard, and I was like, I was at my wit's end, and I was like, man, you know, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? At the end of that process, I was like, I'm tired. So I just, you know, found this beat. You know what I'm saying? I turned it on, and it immediately spoke to me. And God was like, man, you got a little bit left in the tank. You know what I'm saying? Put something to this beat right here.
Say no more.
Like literally, like God just blessed me with that, with the melody. I just started humming the melody onto the track, and then the words just came to me. It was like some real life things I was going through, and I was like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how it came about.
That's crazy. Talk about Cash World Records. How did that originate? And shout out to your management team, Wifey, the whole squad, because you know, I know it's not easy, but you guys seem to, as a power couple as I've done, you guys seem to be manifesting and doing a lot just with a two-man team, building up, putting others under you.
Yeah. First of all, I got to shout out God. You know what I'm saying? None of this would be possible without him. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, I just want everybody to know that. You know what I'm saying? God blessed me with a lot of ideas, and when I apply the ideas that he gave me, everything seems to go right. You know what I'm saying? Versus when I try to do it on my own. So, but as far as Cash World, I want to shout out everybody under the label, Tone B, Arnisa, my man Juan 2 Cole.
Shout out Juan 2 Cole.
Yeah, Juan 2 Cole and ISO. You know what I'm saying? ISO, my man ISO. So Cash World Records, what we really want to do with Cash World Records is build a brand that people trust. You know what I'm saying? Just like Charmin, just like FedEx, you know, just like Cheerios. You know what I'm saying? We want you to everything that we touch and that we do, we want a good result to come out of it and a good vibe to come out of. So that's where Cash World Records came from. That's why, you know, you see us always, we got the crown, we kings and queens. We just promoting, you know, just us as where we originated from, where we came from. We just want to let everybody know we are royalty. You know what I'm saying? We've been through the hood, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of dirt thrown on our heads in our situation, but we gonna elevate through this. We gonna make it through this, and the whole world gonna see the kings and queens that we were born to be.
I salute that.
Yeah.
What do you want people to know about you?
I want people to know what I want people to know about me is, you know, I've been through a lot to get to where I am. I do want people to know that I did work in the mortgage business for 12 years.
I was a real estate agent.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? I worked in the mortgage business, so you know,
definitely.
like if you know that level of business, you pretty much can control or organize or facilitate or just be on the mindset of how this business should run.
Right.
So I just want people to know that, you know, I got a business savvy mind.
Right.
And you know, I'm applying that to the music business so that we can you know, show people when you do put your business first, you know what I'm saying, you can strive and level up in this game.
That's big. My man Boss Blind.
Yeah.
We got 2 videos, but we're going to start with the signature record. And I want you to introduce this song for us, this video, because it was crazy.
Okay. Well, this video right here, you know what I'm saying? Check it out on YouTube. Type in Boss Blind. Oh, yeah. That's OHYEAH. Type it in. Crank it up. You know what I'm saying? Run them views up. This video right here is called Oh Yeah, my #1 single. Let's get it.
Let's rock. Only on the E.K Show, formerly the 16-time award winner Eddie Kane Show. We get ready to go. Oh yeah.
Boom.
Just you Cash World.
I made $1 million on the strip.
Oh yeah.
You know I'm about to go, I'm busting chick.
Oh yeah.
You know I ride around with the stick.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know the Cash World is the shit.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing $150 in the whip.
Oh yeah.
Giuseppe's on my feet, not on my hip.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you want it, you can get it for the low. I got them shook up in my hood like Devo. One shot like Danny Glover, weapons lethal. I need money in my pocket like an ego. Yeah, the hater talking shit, but what do he know? He ain't even got enough to buy a single. I got chips, yeah, I snap them like a Pringle. Yeah, I'm rocking off-white like a gringo. And my brothers keep a click like Nino. Boss Blind doing numbers, yelling bingo. My killers trained to kill by the G-code. The feds wanna hit me with the Rico. They say that I'm the ghost, I work with Lobo. I told them I don't have a lot of amigos. Yeah, I made $1 million on the strip.
Oh yeah.
You know I'm about to go, I'm busting chicks.
Oh yeah.
You know I ride around with the stick.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know the Cash World is the shit.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing $150 in the whip.
Oh yeah.
Giuseppe's on my feet, not on my hip.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She bad and bougie, she a model from the ghetto. Smoke a whole Jada, sip some amaretto. Grab a bra by the hair, won't let go. I'm Giuseppe stepping, she just rocks the lactose. Let me pull the string, she call me Geppetto. Hit the corner store, ass shake like Jello. Donald Ariella take just like espresso. I hope that she can take the trust when I dip low. It's in my DNA, Kendrick Don Cheeto. I be bagging up this cheese like it's Cheetos. I got the rap game, rap like burritos. I never let a hungry nigga come and freeload. I'm dropping all plat, this ain't white gold. We like to make this cash money by the truckload. Yeah, these haters sleeping on us, take a long dose. I got 10K on my neck, plus my wrist flows. Yeah, I made $1 million on the strip.
Oh yeah.
You know I'm about to go, I'm busting chicks.
Oh yeah.
You know I ride around with the sticks.
Oh yeah.
That video was crazy. You was you could tell you was into it.
Yes, sir.
Talk about what went into making the video.
Oh man, that's always something to talk about. You know, shout out my man Bless of the Loyalty Boys who shot that video. Also, he shot Gutter Baby. You know what I'm saying? So what went into that video is I actually had another videographer that was supposed to shoot that video that day.
Okay.
And, you know, for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, he couldn't make it. So I'm standing there. I got like 20, 30 people, you know what I'm saying, on set for the video. Couldn't do it. Call my man Bless up. You know what I'm saying? He came through in a Dodge Charger like a superhero. Came through to say the
Bless,
day.
man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he made that video, you know what I'm saying? And it's been a history ever since we made it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, good look, quality, and I could see that so much went into the video. Now, you talked about a lot of artists that are on Cash World.
Yeah.
How did you, how were you able to be, well, you talked about the business mindset, so we understand that. But how were you able to unite so many young folk under you?
Well, we united them by just leading by example.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Last year we did, I think we did 53 shows.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? We went out to personally do 53 shows. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know, that's a lot of exposure.
And that's a lot of footwork, too.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it took a lot. Nobody knows, you know what I'm saying, how much work you put into things. They only see the results. But a lot of people.
A lot of performance royalties. He's getting a lot of performance royalties.
Yeah. So a lot of people, you know, that were close-knit, that we knew were artists, they saw how hard we were working. And, you know, they said, hey, look, you know what I'm saying, we like what you're doing. You know, how can we link up? And so, you know, we talked to them. If we felt like it was a good fit for us and Cash World Records, you know, we just united with them.
That's crazy. Is this where this next video, is this where it came from? Is this, these are the artists that are on Cash World?
This next video, is it the Tribal Hondo video?
Yes.
Now, this video right here, this is kind of like a special thing. We did DMV United Part 1 last December with Shift T, Fade to Green.
Okay.
Shout out Shift. We did it up in Silver Spring, Maryland at the Balaga Lounge.
Okay.
And this event, it was so special because we had Tony Rez there. We had so many artists from the DMV there. And it was kind of magical, like the way it all came together. And we had my man Nico. He did the producer part of that show. Also, he performed at that show. And from there, he met a lot of people at that show. And he had a song called Tribal Hondo. Okay. Okay, so during DMV United, he decided that he wanted to unite some artists.
Some more artists
Some
to
artists,
perform.
including myself. And we just came together and did a remix to his song, Tribal Hondo, which means we putting in work. You know what I'm saying? Tribal
and that's
Hondo,
in Spanish?
Yeah, in Spanish. Okay. Tribal Hondo means, you know, working. So, you know, we got together on that track. Different ethnicities. Shout out Telepath. Shout out Ricky Fuego, Alulu. Everybody that was involved in that, and we just made like a hit record.
No question. Hey, without further ado, I want you to introduce that video.
Yo, this my man Nico Bless. He produced Lil Nas song. You know what I'm saying? He's a master producer. This video right here is called Tribal Hondo. Check it out on YouTube. Let's get it.
Let's rock right here. Only on the EK Show, my man Boss Blind. Yeah. Cash World Records. Rock.
In my city, in my state, trabajando, getting paid.
And how they see it, we don't play, cause we chasing, always grinding every day. Put in work, trabajando, trabajando, put in work, trabajando, trabajando, put in work, trabajando, trabajando, getting paid, persiguiendo la chambea every day.
Mommy, call me Papi Chulo. They see me working, you can find me Google. I'm in Mars, but don't call me Bruno. I'm the future, baby, you could call me Pluto. Me llamo Jefe, I'm numero uno. Pockets ass fat, yeah, I'm talking sumo. I was locked down eating ramen noodles, now I'm making money, I don't know you, who you?
Siempre trabajando, siempre ganando. Lo que genero estoy multiplicando. El caserío me ama porque en lealtad yo nunca estoy fallando. Yo trabajo para todos los míos, significa que cuido los míos. Si tengo un pedazo de pan, aquí lo comparto con todo el caserío. I be hustling, I get to the bag. Ain't had nothing, now I got cash. Smoke gas, white ash, I'm in the foreign. He's Salvadoran, if I could do it, just start exploring. Take risks, if not, shut up, you don't deserve it. Ponte a trabajar, loco.
Tengo el dinero, mami, make it work. Ella sabe que soy dueño del turf. Tengo la plata y your feelings are hurt. Desde chamaco yo le meto el work. Por el dinero, haters gonna lurk. No la quiero ella, yo la quiero a her. Si estamos en la disco, yo quiero un skirt. No te preocupes que I can't hurt to work.
In my city, in my state, trabajando, getting paid.
Y como dicen, we don't play. Persiguiendo la chambea every day. Put in work. Trabajando. Put in work. Trabajando. Now put in work. Trabajando. Getting paid. Persiguiendo la chambea every day.
Mucho trabajo, I look like I won the lotto. Hit the club and pop some bottles, but I leave here with a model. VIP smell like gelato, y'all can't smoke it, but we burning. Now you see me caking up, so you haters can't ignore it.
Siempre estoy trabajando, todo el mundo con sus chavos. Dinero siempre en mis manos, la gente me está llamando cuando estoy trabajando. Por eso no estoy contestando. Estoy busy, so déjame en paz, please. Estoy trabajando.
I praise the Lord's get and take what's mine, so you know I put in work every day, activa estoy. Tú sabes, no pierdo el tiempo en vacilar. Lo que yo hago solo es depositar.
You gon' send your blessing solely over me. Working hard just to feed all my family. 40 plus a week, 0 days off until the day that I'm deceased. I know.
I've been working all night, I've been working all day. I've been on my grind, only way to get paid. Gotta put in work if you want the recognition. Never quit, stay legit, commit under any condition. I'ma keep on going. Trabajando.
I'ma keep on going.
Trabajando. And I'ma keep on going.
Trabajando. Getting paid. Persiguiendo la chambea every day. Put in work. Trabajando. Now put in work.
Trabajando.
Getting paid. Persiguiendo la chambea every day.
Y'all did it again. Another one.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm
Trabajando,
excited. I'm excited.
trabajando.
So listen, you got some records you brought. We're gonna get you to perform. Oh yeah, exclusively, first time on
Yeah,
Nekedie TV right here, man. I'm
Let's do
excited,
it.
man. You kind of bring a lot of energy. Where
Yeah.
can the people find you at?
People can find me on Instagram. That's the only social media outlet.
Come on, boss.
That's the
man.
only
You
social
a
media
boss.
outlet
You better get on
that
Twitter.
I'm on.
Why
You know
not
what I'm saying?
Twitter?
I'm on Twitter, but I do a lot of driving. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, within 1 year, I put like 50,000 miles on my car in 1 year.
You better roll that off on your taxes.
I
too.
did, of course. Gas, all that, maintenance, oil changes. But I'm always driving around, so I don't have a lot of time to be tweeting or
Right.
texting. So Instagram is my #1 outlet, and you can find me there at boss, BOSS_blind. That's BLIND. That's boss_blind on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter at bossblind511 on Twitter, but I'm just not that responsive on Twitter.
Okay.
And also you can find me on Cash World Records on Instagram as well.
Where can they find your videos? Give them the YouTube.
YouTube is on Cash World Records YouTube channel. You can go there, find all of my videos, or just type in Boss Blind. All my videos will pop up right there.
Say less. My man Boss Blind. Don't go nowhere. He get ready to rock live right here on the EK show.
Only for y'all.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. 2. So you call it the EK
Cash
show now,
World.
right? Yeah. For my man Eddie Kane and all the Rockets, yeah. Hey, yeah.
I made $1 million on the strip.
Oh yeah.
You know I'm about to go to buy a single. I got chips, yeah, I snap them like a Pringle. Yeah, I'm rocking off-white like a gringo. And my brothers keep a click like Nino. Boss blind doing numbers, yelling bingo. My killers train to kill by the G-code. The feds wanna hit me with the Rico. They say that I'm the ghost, I work with Lobos. I told them I don't have a lot of amigos. Yeah, I made $1 million on the strip. You know I'm about to go and bust a chick. You know I'm riding around with the stick. You know the cash world is the shit. I'm doing $150 in the whip. The Giuseppe's on my feet, not on my hip. She bad and bougie, she a model from the ghetto. Smoke a whole Jada, sip some amaretto. Grab a bar by the hair, won't let go. I'm Giuseppe stepping, she just rocks the Leto. Let me pull the string, she call me Geppetto. Hit the corner store, take like Jello. I know Ariella tastes just like espresso. I hope that she can take the thrust when I dip low. It's in my DNA, Kendrick Don Cheeto. I be bagging up this cheese like it's Cheetos. I got the rap game wrapped like burritos. I never let a hungry nigga come and freeload. I'm dropping all plat, this ain't white gold. We like to make this cash money by the truckload. Yeah, these haters sleeping on us take a long dose. I got 10K on my neck plus my wrist flows. Yeah, I made $1 million on the strip. You know I'm about to go and bust a chick. You know I ride around with the sticks. You know the cash world is the shit. I'm doing $150 in the whip. The Giuseppe's on my feet, not on my hip.
Shout out Cash Real.
Yo, this the big homie Eddie Kane. I'm in here with none other than Malcolm Reese from MJR Visuals. We are now talking about his new documentary, 440 Slaves. Hey, Malcolm, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Man, I can't complain. Malcolm is a great friend of mine. For those who may not know, Malcolm shot the 2013 Eddie Kane TV show for CW, so he's been intricate in the EK show brand for many years. Formerly, Malcolm is now shooting for a lot of major brands out here, and in addition, is producing great content. When I say that, I'm saying it from a standpoint. Malcolm has a new movie which is about to air, and it's called 440 Slaves. Now, Malk, you, of all people, as we talked off air, I was very taken aback for you to see you jump in that arena to talk about what's going on in slavery, because you are more of an action, scientific, music video, corporate. So to see you produce this type of content took me back. Now, I want you to tell me what influenced you to look up 440 Slaves, the actual, and this is a true interpretation, nothing false.
Okay. Now, let me just first tell you that it's actually not 440 slaves. It's 440 Negroes.
Oh, well, 440 Negroes. I apologize. I messed up. 440 Negroes. I apologize.
No, but it is a key point, because when we first started thinking about doing this documentary, I said, you know what? We should call 440 slaves. And you'd be surprised that when you say 440 slaves, people instantly think that the documentary is going to be another slave story. Right. And don't get it twisted. It's good to talk about slavery because slavery happened, but there's a lot of stories out there that talk about it. And I did not want to do another slave story. So I called it 440 Negroes because the actual background of the story is just the background. We touch on not only the history of slavery, where it came from, but how it affects current generational poverty, generational wealth, and
generational poverty, generational wealth, and
just the overall social economics of black people.
Okay.
And I wanted to talk about that specifically. So everybody has Facebook.
Okay.
And with the Facebook, what I did was one of my friends posted a random article about this thing called the Weeping Time.
Okay.
And what the Weeping Time was the largest slave auction in Georgia history. I was like, the largest slave auction in Georgia history? So I started reading it. Come to find out, it was the largest slave auction in American history.
Wow.
And that sparked my interest. Like, why have I heard about it? Why is this not taught in school? Why doesn't anybody ever talk about this? And as I started digging into this story, I found out that every key player in that cell of 440 Negroes is directly responsible for the social economic position that blacks play today.
So when you say that, break it down so the viewers will understand, because if you're watching, you're trying to understand what he's saying, how that they impacted today's economy. Break that down.
All right. You know what's funny? People always say that slavery happened 100 years ago, 150 years ago. It was a long time ago. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It does matter, because when you have a generation that can directly remember talking to someone who it affected, that means it wasn't that long ago. My dad always says, my granddad was born a slave. He says it so much it's stupid.
Shout out to your dad. Great guy, too.
You know, think about that. My dad, as a boy, talked to his granddad.
Okay.
Sitting on his lap.
Okay.
Before he died. And his granddad told him stories about being a slave. Okay. So that means it was not that long ago when my dad can tell me secondhand, technically, it might as well be firsthand knowledge of what it was like to be a slave.
Right.
So it's not that long ago. So when people say it's long ago, they're in denial because it's not. So you can't forget, because my dad doesn't forget. My dad talks about my biological cousin, who's actually Emmett Till.
Okay.
And how it affected the family.
Wow. How did he exclaim to you that Emmett Till being murdered affected your family?
He always used to say, you know, and it escapes me, so I don't want to quote it wrong, but he used to say, be careful of what you do, because our little black cousin who whistled to a white woman wound up hanging in a tree. And he had a long poem, but he used to say it all the time to make me understand how careful you should be dealing with certain majority groups in America.
Oh, wow.
So with that being said, the current climate that we're going through, it wasn't something that hasn't been seen before. It happened in 1960s, civil rights movement.
Civil rights movement.
I mean, it's almost like we're going through it again.
It does feel like it, but it seems like we're going backwards.
We're going backwards. So, thus the 440 Negroes.
Wow.
All right. So how is it relevant? And it was really funny because Senate Majority Mitch McConnell made a statement about reparation.
Right.
And I had actually already finished recording all my interviews before he said that, so it just made it extremely relevant. Anyway, the Weeping Time Cell was done by a guy named Pierce Butler. Okay. His dad, Major Pierce Butler, was a signee of the Bill of Rights. Now, for people who don't know what the Bill of Rights are, those are the first articles of the U.S. Constitution. They are what the President, Congress, and the Senate govern the United States by. Okay?
Facts.
So those are pretty much our rules and regulations. And this guy's father, this guy's grandfather was a signer of it. And what he put in there pretty much, so you can understand, it's Article 4 Section 2, subparagraph 4 of the Bill of Rights, which says, and I'm just going to sum it up. If a black person, well, at the time, if a black person runs away and escapes his slave owner and gets caught anywhere, be it a free slave, a free state or not a free state, he is obligated.
Got to be returned.
He has to be returned.
Wow.
Now understand that. That's in the article.
That is bananas, though. Like, so you're telling me if I do escape and I happen to get away and I'm a free slave at that point because I've escaped a slave master, if someone finds out that I was a former slave and I've run away, they would in turn have to turn me over.
They would have to turn you over.
Wow. Just like ICE.
All day long.
Wow.
So moving forward. Oh, I was like, wow, that's a big deal. Okay, that was back in the 1800s. Okay, end of the 1700s, early 1800s. Okay, that was a long time ago, kind of. But dig deeper into that particular cell. The guy who actually helped make the cell, his dad, had a Supreme Court case that was founded right before the 1900s. Okay, so that's less than that. That's 100 years, right? That said that all the land that was confiscated during the Civil War had to be returned to the South, Southern owners. That's reparations.
Basically.
They got reparations for treasonous acts against the United States. And people get mad when blacks say we should get reparation. Even though there's documentation that said, and you heard about 40 acres and a mule.
Definitely.
40 acres and a mule, people say it's a urban legend where we were guaranteed 40 acres to be used as we should. And here's the reason why we were guaranteed that 40 acres. Because Abraham Lincoln wanted to ensure that the newly freed slaves had the opportunity to have the chance at equal life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
In your documentary, there's talk of a slave owner meeting with the other slaves to talk about their future. You want to break that down for me?
Actually, and that's the 40 acres and a mule. General Sherman marched on Savannah, and when he got down to Savannah, he met with some of the black leadership of the time and asked them, what do you want? What do you guys need to ensure that the black population can sustain itself, grow forward, and be a viable part of America? And they said, we want land. So General Sherman, and you have to watch the documentary, General Sherman, with the authorization of the president, gave field order number 15, which pretty much said every black person gets 40 acres from North Carolina down to Florida and in 130 miles. And I might be misquoting that, but it came to something like 468,000 acres of land.
Well, in the documentary that you're ready to watch right now, check out this. Curator, can you tell me who moderated this?
All right, so this documentary, and one thing about documentaries is you find those subject matter experts that know the documentary, and you get them to tell a story because they know the history. This is Shannon Brown. She is a curator at Telfair Museum down in Savannah, Georgia. So the Telfair Museum is actually one of the largest museums, part of the Georgia Historic Society.
Yes.
And they're based in Savannah. And so I was able to interview her, talk to her, and get her to explain the actual background behind 40 Acres and a Mule. And the gentleman that's also talking is actually Mayor Otis Johnson. He was the first black mayor of Savannah.
Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. We get ready to watch it right now. Only on the E.K. Show, formerly the Eddie Kane Show, the 16-time award-winning Eddie Kane Show. I am sitting here with Malcolm Reese of MJR Visuals. This is 400 Negroes.
440 Negroes.
440 Negroes. I keep messing it up. 440 Negroes right here, only on the E.K. Show.
Yeah, I don't think reparations for something that happened 150 years ago for whom none of us currently living are responsible is a good idea.
But well into this century, the United States was still paying out pensions to the heirs of Civil War soldiers. We honor treaties that date back some 200 years, despite no one being alive who signed those treaties.
You got two kinds of Southern history. The Southern history that still fights the Civil War, and then you've got the more objective Southern history that tries to talk about what the real facts are, and they're not trying to romanticize slavery.
So using Savannah as a microcosm of this entire nation. We have one person, he will share in the 1800s, he will say that Savannah and Charleston will direct the business. He said that Philadelphia and Washington will legislate the business. Then he will go and say that New York will finance it and New England will build the ships. He showed that every part of Eastern Seaboard was complicit in this right here. But he's showing that this entire nation is benefiting from the sale of human beings.
When I first moved to Savannah, I took a neighborhood walking tour. We came across this historical marker, and it said the largest slave auction in Georgia history. It's actually the largest documented slave auction in American history.
The Freedmen's Bureau is formed, and unfortunately, not too long after Abraham Lincoln is assassinated, Andrew Johnson overturns Field Order Number 15, and he returns that land to the Confederates who had rebelled against the Union. It was a moment that our country had a chance to start people off on the road to equality, and he chose not to do that.
Man, that was crazy, Malcolm. Like I'm to me, I'm trying to put the pieces together. Like, black people have always had it bad. We've always had it hard. We've always been the underdog. So in a way, that documentary reminds me of what's going on today with the migrants.
Do you know what they say?
They're the modern day slaves.
Do you know what's funny? There's this saying that they say, that's something's bad happening to them, not happening to me, so you look away.
Right.
Something's bad happening to that group, it's not happening to me, look away.
Okay.
Well, what happens when they run out of something happening bad to someone else? It's going to come to you.
It's actually going to come up to your front door.
So right now, you look at the current temperature of America. I mean, you have people chanting, "Send her back, send her back."
That's crazy.
Where are they going to send her back to? And why is it okay for them to say that? But it all goes back to finding a scapegoat, and how blacks and minorities have been systematically used to propel the government, to propel whatever
basically
thought process is going on.
And also to propel other races, because we've helped build a lot.
One singular race.
One singular race, and we've helped build a lot. We've helped to construct a lot, yet a lot of the credit is never given to African Americans. If you go back and look at everything from the navigation, which you used to get over here, was there was a black woman that was instrumental in making it. However, you never learn those type of things unless you go and look for it. They don't put that in our face to show us these type of things. So African Americans, all brown races, to be exact, are at war with one singular race, and that's I'm seeing a surge of nationalists, white nationalists.
Do you know what? I don't want to go as far as saying one single race, because I don't want to be seen as a extremist. I'm not.
Right.
Because you know what? Not all people in the majority are bad. It's just not. Even at this case, it's like 40%. So you got 60% that's technically good.
But 40% is almost half.
40% is almost half. But what I want people to understand is, we as black people have to understand where we came from, what happened to us, so we can move forward in the right way.
Right.
And we always talk about, and there's an article, and again, I touch on the documentary on generational wealth, generational poverty, and home ownership and things of that nature, right?
Okay.
There was an article just the other day in the paper, and I want to say it was Washington Post, and they talked about how property in black neighborhoods rise slower than in white neighborhoods.
Right.
And normally, blacks are less likely to be shown homes in white neighborhoods because white people don't want blacks to live in the neighborhood, right?
Correct.
And then I got to thinking. I said, well, Asians don't have this problem. Mexicans don't have this. Hispanics don't have this problem. Because, no, they do. They reinvest in their own neighborhoods.
In their community.
So it doesn't matter. They look, if I don't have to move there because our property value is based on our property value.
Right.
So why can't blacks get together and understand this and want to propel it forward? Even in places like, and I take up PG County. PG County is the wealthiest black county in America.
But do you know it's also the biggest, was once the biggest racial? It had the most PG County had the most slaves. Fact, Prince George's County, Maryland, is known to have had the most slaves out of any state. You know why? Because they harvested tobacco in Prince George's County, Maryland.
Yep.
And hence, that's why there were so many African Americans that were slaves in this state. A lot of people don't know that, though. And in this in the town of Prince George's County, they don't know that.
Do you know what? You will tell you. Here's the problem. You will talk all this knowledge to the younger generation, and the younger generation have a tendency to say, "Look, I understand what you're saying, but I want to get mine."
Right.
And I guess I kind of understand that mentality. They want to get yours.
But isn't that selfish?
No, it's extremely selfish. And I don't like quoting Kanye very often.
Right.
Okay. I really don't.
I hate the guy.
But he said something so profound years ago, and it just stuck with me, and it makes a lot of sense.
Talk to me.
He said, "I hustle for my last name, not my first. If I make it before I die, then I'll, of course, enjoy what I sow.
Right.
But the overall goal is to leave something for my daughter."
You have to, though. Generational wealth.
So think about that. If you think like that, then it doesn't matter if you make it or not, because you don't plan on spending it anyway. You plan on leaving it for your family so they don't have to do what you had to do.
But Malcolm, and the rate we're going, is it going to be a future? Because here we have a president that's at war with Iran, and he's doing all kinds of snarky things within the country. What is the future for the United States? Like what I don't know what to say, because I've seen in 2 years a drastic change. I've seen a man take a democracy and turn it to a dictatorship.
There is, and again, the problem is when good people don't do anything.
Okay.
But I have an undying faith that good people will step up to the plate and ensure that the wrong thing does not happen.
Let's pray. This man is talking about extending his presidency because the Mueller report took 2 years and he felt like he was cheated. I believe he'll write an executive order even if he lost the election to extend his.
Since we're going to talk about politics, I'm going to tell you something funny. And no one keyed on this tweet that he did the other day. He said, I had a great 4 years. I'm looking forward to my next 4 years, maybe 10, maybe 14, LOL. And I said, did not anybody see this tweet that this guy did?
Right.
And no one did. But I'm worried that the thought process is there.
Right.
Now, he can't do an executive order to get it. He would have to go through the Constitution through the Congress.
But he ain't paid attention to nothing Congress has said so far. He's disrespected them on every level.
Yeah, but again, back to the Bill of Rights and our basic Constitution, there's some things that he can do and something he can't do. That term limit is something he couldn't do in an executive order. The only way that I would see that would happen is if we were in a war and he did, and they had a war resolution that they got passed to get him stayed on for the stability. That would be the only way, just like with Theodore Roosevelt, right, how it got changed back then.
Right.
Now, do I see that happening? Maybe that's his plan. I don't know.
Who knows, bro? He knows. Who knows?
But anyway.
Listen, man, we could talk all day. My man Malcolm Reese, once again, MJR Visuals. We're going to look at this next clip right here. Malcolm, introduce this clip. Tell them what they're going to look at in this clip right here. We have two clips. We have one with the curator,
yep.
And then you have the moderator. What are we looking at here?
This right here, this guy right here, his name is Chris Monroe. He is actually a New York Times and Atlantic journalist, and he was the guy who actually wrote the original article on the Weeping Time. Now, it's funny because there's a lot of people who did stories on this particular thing called the Weeping Time, books and novels, and they always say, no, I'm the reason why there's so much attention being paid to it. And I always tell them, no, it's not.
Right.
This particular guy is a journalist for the New York Times and Atlantic, and they just have a larger viewership. So I had to attribute what's going on with this particular article with him. And so when I interviewed him, he gave me the base story. And what you're about to see is him tying in the article, tying in the Bill of Rights and our Constitution to the Weeping Time.
Let's get into it right here. Only on the EK Show, the big homie Eddie Kane. Once again, I'm in here with my guy, Malcolm Reese. Let's get into it. MJR Visuals, 440 Negroes right here.
Pierce Mies Butler was the owner of these enslaved people that he had inherited these slaves from his great-grandfather, Major Pierce Butler. So Major Pierce Butler was considered one of the founding fathers of the country. He was a South Carolina senator and was one of the signatories of the Constitution. And he was also the author of Article 4, Section 2, Clause 3 of the Constitution, and it says, "No person held to service or labor in one state, under the laws thereof, escaping into another, shall, in consequence of any law or regulation therein, be discharged from such service or labor, but shall be delivered up on claim of the party to whom such service or labor may be due." If a slave escapes and tries to go to a different state, if it's a non-slave state, they are obligated to return that person to its, quote, rightful owner. And again, they didn't say slave in the Constitution, but the intent was clear because Major Butler was, at the time of the writing of the Constitution, the largest, if not the largest, one of the largest slaveholders in America.
In closing, man, I'm just blown away of what I've saw. What do you want the people to know?
All right, what I want the people to know is I want you to look at the story. You know, take the time, go to my Facebook page. Go.
Tell them your Facebook page, brother.
All right. Go to the truthproject.com or the Truth Project on Facebook.
Okay.
And the reason I call it the Truth Project because I'm not doing this for any money, honestly.
Right.
I'm doing this out of my pocket
to bring awareness.
To bring awareness to all these stories. And the 440 Negroes is just the first one. We already have on tap another story that you probably never even heard about that we're going to talk about to bring light to domestic terrorism on black people.
Wow. Then I definitely am interested in that. Hey, my guy Malcolm Reese, once again, go to The Truth Project on Facebook or thetruthproject.com to catch up on all of the great commentary, notoriety, and all the great information he's passing you. I'm the big homie Eddie Kane. Once again, Malcolm Reese, tell them where they can find you at.
Hey, you can find me at mjrvisuals.com, at mjrvisuals, MJR Visuals on Twitter, MJR Visuals almost anywhere, and I'll pop up.
Man, you got to check out his work. The man's phenomenal. Only on the EK Show. I salute you, man.